We've seen how conformity shows up in our actions, but have you ever wondered what's happening in your brain during those moments? Today, we're moving from the how to the why as we investigate the two fundamental needs that make us follow the crowd. In 1955, psychologists Morton Deutsch and Harold Gerard realized that conformity isn't just one thing. It actually stems from two very different, very powerful human needs: the need to be right and the need to be liked. They labeled these informational social influence and normative social influence. Let's break those down. First, let's look at informational social influence. This is our internal search for truth. We conform because we have a fundamental need to be correct. When we find ourselves in an ambiguous situation where we honestly don't know the answer, we look at the people around us. We assume they know something we don't. We use them as a source of information. When does it happen? Usually in confusing or new situations where we lack clear data. The result is we truly believe the group is right. This leads to internalization. We don't just change our behavior, we change our minds. Think back to that bean jar from earlier. This was actually a famous study by Jennis. He asked participants to estimate the number of beans in a bottle. Because the task was ambiguous, meaning there was no way to be sure of the answer, participants felt uncertain. When they heard the group's estimates, their second private guesses moved closer to the group average. This is classic informational influence. They weren't trying to be cool, they were trying to be accurate, and they figured the group's collective brain was better than their own. On the other hand, we have normative social influence. This isn't about being right, it's about fitting in. We conform because we want social approval, and perhaps more importantly, we want to avoid the stinging pain of social rejection. When does it happen? In social settings with people we care about, or when we are desperate to be part of a specific in-group. The result is compliance. You go along with the group publicly, even if you're screaming no on the inside. But would you conform even if you knew the group was dead wrong? Solomon Asch decided to find out. He showed participants a standard line and 3 comparison lines. The task was incredibly easy. Anyone with clear vision could see the correct match. But there was a catch. Everyone else in the room was an actor, and they were all instructed to give the same wrong answer. The findings were, even though the truth was staring them in the face, a huge number of participants gave the wrong answer just to align with the group. This is the ultimate proof of normative influence. There was no information to gain. The answer was obvious. They conformed simply to avoid the discomfort of being the lone voice of dissent. So, how do we bring this all together? Think of it as a roadmap from motive to action. If your primary motive is the need to be right, you're using informational social influence. You're looking for certainty in a world of ambiguity. This leads to internalization, the deepest form of change, where you accept the group's view both in public and in your private heart. But if your motive is the need to be liked, you're dealing with normative social influence. Here, you're seeking approval and running away from rejection. This usually results in compliance, where you say yes out loud, but no in your head. And finally, when that need to be liked is specifically about belonging to a group you admire, we see identification. You adopt the group's mask to maintain your membership, even if that mask comes off the moment you're alone. It's a fascinating tug of war, isn't it? On one side, our logic is searching for the truth. On the other, our social brain is searching for safety in the pack. Next time you find yourself agreeing with a group, stop and ask yourself, am I doing this because I think they're right, or am I just trying to keep my seat at the table? I will further discuss about conformity to social roles.